What is going on, YouTube people? Listen, it's bad enough. eBay, they got to have their cut. You got to pay PSA. You got to pay fees to set up at shows. Everybody wants their taste, their piece of the action, if you will. And the United States government wants theirs. Today we're talking taxes. That's right, everybody's favorite topic, 1099s. Let's preface some things here. I am not an accountant. I barely know how to do my own taxes. This is not tax advice in any way, shape, or form. You should seek a professional, not the Sports Card Nonsense Facebook group, not Twitter, not Instagram, not YouTube comments, and not my dumbass talking to you on a YouTube video. You should go speak to a licensed professional. Everybody is different. Everyone lives in different states. Rules are different. What you do might be different. So, with all that out of the way, let's talk about what is changing. Now, 1099s have been in the news for a few years now. There was a proposed change. Well, let's take a step back. Previously, it was basically $20,000 if you earned $20K and a threshold of transactions for most states. There were some states that already had this in effect. You would trigger a 1099 from PayPal, Venmo, eBay, etc. For the purposes of this, we're mostly going to focus on eBay and PayPal because that's where most of us do our business. Most people never hit that limit. A few years ago, they said they were changing it to $600 and everyone lost their collective minds. $600 is not a lot. It is very easy to hit that, and 1099s would be flowing everywhere. Well, it got delayed. It kind of got delayed again, but not really. So what is going on now? For 2024, the limit is $5,000. This is happening. This is locked in. This was an update from late November from the IRS.gov website. They are also proposing 2025 would drop to $2,500, and then in 2026, the $600 level is coming. Now, I don't want to get too deep down the rabbit hole. I would be shocked if the $600 limit actually ever happened. Maybe we see the $2,500 limit, maybe we don't. I have no idea. But the $5,000 limit does seem like it is here to stay, at least in the short term. So, what does that mean? It means a lot of people are probably getting a 1099. I know myself personally, I had never flagged under the old rules with eBay or PayPal. A lot of that was because of the number of transactions. It used to have to hit the dollar threshold and 200 transactions, and usually it was the transactions part that I would fall short of. But now that's not there. It's just a straight 5K. I actually looked this morning. I was curious. I will hit this on eBay and on PayPal. Now, I always reported anyways, whether I got a 1099 or not. I am a content creator. Everything I do is very public. I would be an idiot not to. So it's really not changing anything for me. Quite honestly, it's making my life a lot simpler because instead of having to download a bunch of eBay and PayPal reports, I will just get a 1099 now, and I'll have to do a quick comparison to make sure that it's accurate, but it'll actually make my life personally a little bit easier just having the straight 1099 versus having to manually do a lot of stuff. So if you're not sure, you can log into eBay and PayPal and check your own numbers to see where you sit. Now, once again, whether you're getting a 1099 or not, legally, you should be reporting that information. Once again, speak to a professional. Let them advise you, not some idiot on YouTube. The main thing I wanted to do with this video is just make people aware of this change. This kind of snuck out in late November, right around Thanksgiving. I have a feeling a lot of people missed this. I haven't really seen anyone else talk about it yet. If they have, more power to them. But in the hobby space, I haven't seen anyone bring this up yet. The other little piece of advice that I will give besides seek professional help, Make sure you are tracking your stuff. Make sure if you're buying stuff, you are documenting it. That's the biggest piece of advice that I will give in this video, is document everything. Even if you're not 100% sure, just document it. If you're driving to a card show, document the mileage. If you are buying supplies, keep the receipts or scan them in. Come up with a system that works for you for what you are buying and selling. This will become important when you meet with a professional and they ask you for these things and you can present them to them. Myself personally, I use QuickBooks. Nothing fancy. I keep track of everything in there. When I drive to a show, I document the mileage. It all goes in there. When I purchase something, I upload the receipt or a screenshot of whatever it is that I bought, and it goes into QuickBooks. That is how I keep track of most of my stuff. It's not the only way. There are plenty of different ways to do it, depending on how you are doing your stuff. So once again, seek a professional. But keep in mind, this is probably coming. Like I said, you could double check your stats online on the various different payment platforms and confirm if you are going to get one of these. You are not going to be able to run from this if you trigger these thresholds. If the 1099 comes, whether you were dodging before or not, you're not going to be able to dodge it anymore with these changes. Like I said, next year, does it drop down to 2,500? I don't know. A lot can happen between now and then. We also have a whole new political party taking over, so who knows what could happen. I don't think it ever goes back to 20K again, though. I really don't. I could see it sitting at 5,000. 600 just seems awfully low. I mean, awfully low. I don't think that that is very reasonable. You may have noticed earlier this year, a lot of these places were gathering tax information from you or asking you to update it if you hadn't provided it in the past, or maybe it had been a while since you provided it. That was all in anticipation for this change. So like I said, the biggest piece of advice I give is just make sure that you are documenting everything as best as you possibly can. It is very important to keep track of this stuff. All that stuff could be potential deductions to help eat into the cost of what you have to pay out for your taxes. So track all that stuff. I personally, like I said, I like the QuickBooks thing. The other pro tip that I will give, because I am bad about this, I am not good, especially on travel, about documenting after the fact. QuickBooks has an app that you could put on your phone that you can scan your receipts right while you're right there doing whatever it is that you're doing. So I'll use a perfect example. If I travel and I grab dinner or something somewhere and I'm expensing it as a travel expense, I scan that receipt immediately. If I go into my local hobby shop and buy a storage box, maybe I need another white long, BCW storage box. Say I spend $20 on those. I am scanning that receipt while I'm sitting in my car in the parking lot. I try to remember to document mileage and stuff on the go. Like when I get done with a card show, if I traveled that weekend or whatever, I look up the mileage right away, check the trip, whatever it is, and put it into the app immediately, because I am terrible about remembering to do it after the fact. And if I wait too long, I get screwed, because then I can't remember, or I lost the receipt, or whatever the case might be. Now, a lot of transactions being online, you could go back and find a lot of this stuff, even if you didn't document it initially. But boy, oh boy, that could be very time consuming. I remember the first year I was doing content and kind of taking this a lot more seriously. I spent a weekend going back and grabbing transaction data and getting everything organized, and it sucked. I mean, it sucked. Now, it takes me no time at all. An afternoon and I'm good, because I am actively doing what I am supposed to be doing throughout the entire year. And that is very important. This stuff's a nightmare to all do at once. Once again, talk to a CPA, run down what you're doing, and they will give you more pinpoint advice on what you shouldn't be tracking and how to document and all that stuff. But at minimum, just start keeping track of this stuff to some degree or another. There are some, I don't want to recommend anybody because I don't know any of them super personally. There are some accountants out there in CPA services that specialize in people in the collectibles industry. Like if you are buying and selling cards, there are people that specialize specifically in that niche. So they understand the nuances of PSA grading fees, and you bought the card for this and it went down to this, and all that different jazz. There are people out there that specialize in that. Or maybe you make content, because if you make content, that's a whole other wrinkle into the system. Like I said, there's a lot of different angles on this stuff. So that's why you want to talk to a CPA. Don't ask questions in a sports card Facebook group. I see it all the time, especially at the end of the year and the first 3 months of next year. Everyone running to ask their tax advice questions and getting 65,000 different answers. Once again, as we close out the video, everyone is different. Speak to a professional. No two people are the same when it comes to this stuff. Everyone has a different angle, different way to do things. Talk to a CPA, for the love of God. But do keep in mind, go check your PayPal, go check your eBay. If you hit 5K, the old 1099er's coming to get you. As always, curious for your thoughts and comments down below. Catch you on the next one. Peace.